What if you could give every single one of your students a master key? One that could unlock any text they read and a blueprint to build any message they need to write. Well, today we're diving into a powerful teaching framework that does exactly that. It's all about turning students into really confident and effective communicators.
Okay, so this is the big one, right? This is the question that I bet keeps so many of us educators up at night. How do we get our students to move beyond just, summarizing a text and to start really analyzing it? And how do we help them go from writing basic sentences to crafting arguments that genuinely persuade people and stories that you just can't put down? Well, the solution is surprisingly elegant. It's all about revealing the hidden architecture, that invisible structure that underpins all communication. Think about it like this. It's like handing a student the architect's blueprints before you ask them to build a house. So here's our game plan. We're going to walk through this blueprint together. We'll kick things off with a big idea, the power of genre itself. Then we'll zoom in to see how texts are built with these functional stages and the specific language tools they use. We'll even get down to the sentence level to see how ideas connect and flow before finishing up with a super practical toolkit you can literally use in your classroom tomorrow. So let's jump right into our first section. What do we actually mean when we say a genre approach? And honestly, why is it such a game changer for both teachers and for students? This is where the magic of the genre approach really clicks. It's a total two-for-one deal. When they're reading, students learn to see the matrix behind a text. It lets them predict what's coming and find key information fast. But then when they switch to being writers, bam, they've been handed a proven roadmap, which means their own message is going to be clear, structured, and really powerful. I mean, this quote from the source material just nails it, doesn't it? We're not just teaching grammar rules here. We're giving students actual power. Understanding these blueprints gives them the confidence to tackle any communication challenge because they know they have the right tools to get the job done. All right, so how do we actually start taking these blueprints apart? Well, the first step is to see that every genre is built from these distinct functional blocks. The source material calls them stages. Now, staging might sound a little fancy, but all it really means is that a text isn't just one big blob of words. Nope, it's made up of different sections, and each one of those sections has a specific job to do. Recognizing those jobs is the first step to mastering the whole text. Just think about a simple recount, like an email explaining why you were late for a meeting. It follows a predictable flow, doesn't it? You start with the orientation. So sorry I was late this morning. Then you give the record of events. The train was delayed, and then of course I got stuck in traffic. You finish up with a reorientation. I finally got in around 9:30. And maybe you add a little coda. I really hope it didn't disrupt the start of the meeting too much. I mean, once you see this pattern, you start seeing it everywhere. But it's not just about the big picture structure. To really truly master a genre, students have got to understand the specific language tools, the words they choose to achieve their purpose. And this illustrates the difference perfectly. If you're writing an exposition because you want to persuade someone, you're going to use strong, forceful language like "we must" or "it is always the case." But if you're writing a discussion to explore different viewpoints, your language totally changes. It becomes more cautious, more balanced. Well, it might be, or some people suggest. Teaching students to spot and then use these signals is absolutely key. Okay, so we've got the large building blocks, the stages, and we have the right tools, the language. But how do we connect everything together to create that smooth, logical flow that just makes a text so easy to read? Well, the secret is at the clause level, in a concept called theme and rime. Every clause has a jumping off point, right? A piece of shared or known information that kind of sets the stage for what's to come. We call this the theme. So in the sentence, "On my way back from lunch, I saw two school kids mucking about," the theme is "on my way back from lunch." It grounds us before we get the new information. And everything that follows that, that's the rime. This is the new stuff, the interesting payload of the message. In our example, the rime is, "I saw two school kids mucking about." And right here, this is the secret to creating flow. Great writers build a chain. They take the new information from the rime, "two school kids," and they immediately make it the familiar starting point, the theme of the very next sentence. "The kids were." This simple move links the ideas together, and it just pulls the reader effortlessly through the text. Okay, so we've covered the theory, the structure, the language, the flow. So how do we turn all this into practical, engaging activities that you can actually use with your students?
Well, the source material offers some brilliant and really low prep activities. Want to teach staging? Chop up text and have your students play detective to reassemble it in the right order. To focus on language, have them analyze the verbs in one text versus another. For writing practice, modeling is your absolute best friend. Give them a great example as a scaffold. And to really master flow, you've got to try a theme and rhyme chain game, a story where each student has to build on the last person's final thought. It's so simple, but wow, it is incredibly effective.
So we come back to where we started, with this one central idea. Because this is the entire point. The genre approach isn't about memorizing a bunch of rules. It's about handing students a master key, one that unlocks any text they need to read and helps them build any message they need to write. By making these hidden blueprints visible, we're equipping our students for any communication challenge they're ever going to face, from a persuasive essay to a lab report to a job application. We're not just teaching them how to write, we're teaching them how to build with words.